Explain the following. The importance of gold and silver for the Spanish Empire, 8 marks. The importance of the new laws, 1542, in Spanish control of the New World, 8 marks. This is the mark scheme for this question, which you can find out about in more detail in the overview video. 8 marks here are awarded for AO2, which is your analysis of consequence and significance. So that requires you to take the first element of the question and think about what is important about it in relation to the second element of the question. Making those links between the two different elements of the question is how you are analytical and how you score highly for AO2. 8 marks are also awarded for AO1, which is your knowledge and understanding of the topic. So you need to be bringing in evidence from your own knowledge to support your argument for this question. These are the bands for this question. Again, you can find out about these in more detail in the overview video. But generally, to do well in this question, you need to be analytical. And that really comes down to making clear links between the importance of the first event on the second event, so the two different elements of the question. You should also have a clear line of argument so the examiner can see really clearly what you're trying to get across. Your structure should also be quite easy to follow, so try not to go off on too many tangents. Keep it as relevant and focused as you can. Also on AO1, you should be bringing in relevant details from your own knowledge to support what you're trying to say, so using that evidence from your existing understanding, really just to demonstrate to the examiner that you know what you're talking about. There are lots of points you can make for this question, so as long as what you say is relevant and correct, the examiner will give you the marks for them. But let's take a look at some examples. One point you could have made was that Spain gained access to large quantities of silver and gold following their conquest of the Incas. However, we need to now explain that in more detail to show how that links the two elements of the question together and why it was important. So you could, for example, say that the Spanish monarchy used some of the gold to pay debts and fund wars, allowing gold to spread across Europe from Spain. This shows developed thinking. You've analysed the demands of the question and you've used your own knowledge to evidence your points. The same applies to the second question, so let's take a look at an example. So your point could have been that the new laws aim to protect native Indians from forced labour and exploitation, but we now need to explain why that was important in Spanish control. So we can say now from our own knowledge that it restrained encomenderos, clerical denunciation of Spanish mistreatment on Hispaniola, and so on. So again, you've got a lovely developed point which shows really detailed knowledge. Take a look at the rest of the points to see if there's anything that you could have added to your answer.